The younger generation these days has grown up without a clear idea of winning in favor of everyone who participated and does their best deserves a participation trophy. This is what is responsible for the destruction of the motivation of people these days. There are winners and losers in this world. Some people have to win and others will have to lose. They spend too much time these days worried about kids' feelings, and I have even had basketball games where one team had been destroying the other team 36-2 and the officials made the scorer stop keeping score 2 minutes into the second half so that the kids who were losing wouldn't feel so bad. Not only did they stop keeping score, which ended up being 52-2, they eventually turned the scoreboard off since the lopsided score itself was causing mental harm to the losing team. This is what is making people weak these days. It goes back to a time when life was about survival. Food was eaten only in season, and people worked very hard. It was most likely a hunter-gatherer time. Any sort of weakness or incompetence made you a burden that threatened the survival of the group. Imagine being in a dangerous situation, like being lost in the woods with a large group of people. People need guidance and leadership in testing times. Mental health issues, depression, when there is limited food, and everyone's lives are on the line. Leave them to die. Don't waste food on them. They are a liability. Give it to that guy who is starting a fire, gathering wood, gathering water, or who just hunted a stag for us to eat, or otherwise making a proactive attempt to keep people from dying. Most of human history was like this. Feed those who actually contribute and not those who are a liability. Any mistake concerning food, fire, or anything could mean certain death for all. Weakness threatened the survival of the group. Being weak made you a liability and detracted from the lives of the people around you. Nobody likes the incompetent loser who makes life harder for everyone else, or can't be counted on. In my opinion, the biggest reasons for male weakness have to do with poorly managing an individual's crucial childhood development phase by having inadequate mentors and male role models. Lack of a supportive environment and being too coddled as children leads to weak men who have never learned to take responsibility for themselves. Male and female brains operate in fundamentally different ways. So male children need mature male adults to demonstrate how to behave and act. This is why male children that grow up in single-parent households with only a mom have so many developmental issues. A mom cannot be expected to fill the role of a dad. A mom and a dad have fundamentally different roles to play in raising a child. Developing certain traditionally masculine traits in children like having a healthy competitive spirit, strict discipline when appropriate, developing a work ethic, etc. requires adequate mentors whom the male child respects. These traits are important for males because men are wired to be providers. That is their fundamental role to play in society. Pleasure. Pleasures can destroy a man in seconds after we spend decades building. Look for example at lust, the biggest pleasure. A man is happily married. He works in an office with a nerdy secretary who can do it all. Out of nowhere, his secretary shows up with a new sense of fashion. Styled hair, tight mini skirt, isolated, just the two of them. After days of seeing her, he accidentally brushes against her, and they're committing adultery. His wife finds out and leaves him. She takes the house. His kids hate him. The skilled secretary leaves, crying that she broke up a family. His office fails. He loses credibility and is known as the guy who sleeps with his staff. Years of building his business, and now it's all over one temptation. Men always fall into the pleasures of the world. Throughout history, men have been defeated by pleasure. We can make war. We can take losses. We can handle hard times. But we cannot ignore pleasures, only overcome them. These weaknesses stop us from being honest and righteous. Not even to be that religious. I mean this socially too. Whether people like to believe it or not, men set the standards for society, and women keep them going. First, it stops men from being men. Perversions can literally taint us and demote our social status to that of an untrustworthy, selfish sinner. When we can be easily swayed by sex, we can be easily swayed, period. That includes money, material, and even our own inner temptations. When you walk with self-control or become resistant to temptation, people can trust you more. You'll have a clear line no one will cross. You'll know how to say no. People trust and respect men with lines that do not get crossed. When we discard these perversions, it makes us more masculine in the right way. We become more fatherly and respected. When we face and counter our urges, we are essentially becoming men because we are taking control of our bodies. This leads to righteousness. The greatest sign of weakness is having no definable traits at all, what might be called having a lack of character. The most basic virtue of all human interaction is trust. Good people can be trusted to do the right thing. Bad people can be trusted to do wrong. People with a lack of character can never be trusted. I can deal with a jerk any day of the week. I can trust that they will always overreact, take things personally, and throw their weight around to get their own way. They are a very unpleasant person to be around, but that is at least they are determined and take pride in getting their job done. A person who is mentally weak and lacks character changes from day to day. Most of the time, they frustrate everything they deal with and make a mess of things. Occasionally, however, they do the right thing and actually fulfill their obligations correctly. This is almost a worse situation because one cannot predict their actions. In professional life, I will always prefer someone who is mean and petty but manages to get the job done compared to someone who means well but is weak, particularly if they are my superior. Compassion is not weakness. Weakness is somebody who stops following their character when things get rough. And I'll also say that the good, bad, and weak people whom we are talking about are not watertight categories. They are a spectrum, and the people who live on it can always work on ways to improve themselves. Here is how you can overcome your weakness in this way. Assert it. Okay, so you found a weakness, now some's a tricky rard. You have to assert what you found. It doesn't matter what you find if you choose to ignore it, which means not accepting that weakness sincerely. Signs to look out for that tell you that you are not asserting what you find and slewed arguments such as, it doesn't really matter. Everybody does it. No wonder it's besides. Break out of that toxic thought loop. When you have come this far, you most likely know exactly what to do. You know your weakness, Dizio asserted, and love it enough to be excited about what to do. Now it's time to be merciful. Break the bask of your weakness. Move on and never look back. It does matter what position you are in today, but I can tell you with certainty that you are the only one who can change the situation for the better. And no one else could do it for you. It's all about doing the things you are supposed to do and doing them with your full focus.